to the royal family. William Slade. Never heard of him.
You do have a death wish.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2020 Western Road to Revenge, a film that is co-directed by Kellen Garner and Christopher Sheffield. Kellen Garner also co-wrote the film and stars in the film as Travis Royal. The film also stars Alexis Moeller, George Nelson, Jeremy A. Lopez and Chade Green. Now this film focuses on a family, the Royal family. Initially the film focuses on the brother and sister, and they are bounty hunters, and we see them for the first chunk of the film hunting down bounties that ultimately leads them to a town where they go to collect the bounty and realise that there is somebody there from their past, William Slade, played by George Nelson, who wronged their family terribly so when they were young, and they decide to band together with the rest of the family in order to get their revenge. What are my thoughts on Road to Revenge? Well, I have to say, although this is a low-budget Western, it's one of those low-budget films that puts everything on the screen. And I have to say, I'm a fan of Westerns. I always have been. I've grown up with them. And this one, I think, ticks a lot of boxes. I had, for the most part, a good time with this. It isn't perfect. There are issues with the film in a sense of the early part of the film. It's kind of unclear what the story is and where it's going. Like I say, initially you see this brother and sister bounty hunter team going after these bounties, and that's all well and good. I mean, it's all filmed nice with some good gunfight scenes and things, but you're not sure where it's going, and the film keeps going to other characters. We meet another of the brothers who's like a bare knuckle boxer, but we don't really know it's one of the brothers who's meeting with this Slade. So it keeps shooting back between characters, but you're not sure why and what's going on. So the narrative early on is a little bit confused and frustrating. And it takes until they get to this town to collect the bounty, where it all starts coming together. And specifically, there is a flashback scene late on in the film where we learn what happened to this family when they were kids and what this William Slade did to them and their family when they were kids. So it completely justifies what their actions and what they want to do. But I honestly think that flashback should have come earlier in the film. It would have made the characters more sympathetic. You would have been more sympathetic to them earlier on, and you would have understood the story earlier on as well. I think that flashback scene, and I'm not usually a big fan of flashback scenes, but I think that flashback scene came too late into the film. It should have been much earlier. So the film almost feels like it's two halves. The first half of the film is this brother and sister bounty hunter team going after these bounties, and the second half, which I think is by far the strongest part of the film, is when they get to this town and plan their revenge against William Slade. There's some really good confrontation scenes that I thought are done really, really well. And there's some really good dramatic shootouts, which is what you want at the end of any Western, really. And there really is a good one here, where all the family come together to try and get this William Slade out of this town and back to justice. But he's got so many... This William Slade has got so many people paid off, if you like, and so many henchmen. They're determined that they're not going to do that particularly easily. So there's some really good, nicely shot fight scenes at the end. Some good fist fights, some good gun fights, quite tense. And what I really liked about this film as well is some of the deaths were quite brutal. In regards to it being a Western, you know, they didn't hide any of the blood or brutality, but also the guns really felt like they had impact, a lot of impact. You could see the buckshot, and they really felt like they were difficult to handle. Like you watch some Westerns, especially low-budget Westerns, and they fire off a gun, and you know it's just a flash on the gun, and doesn't look like there's any impact at all. Not so here. I think the gunplay in this film is done pretty good for a low-budget film. I thought the performances here by everybody in the cast were absolutely fine. Didn't have an issue with any performances at all. They all did the job. And and I really liked that. There were some of the smaller performances by some of the henchmen type thing. Maybe you could question, but the main cast here all do a good job. And I thought George Nelson was particularly good as William Slade, a real slimy bad guy that you really wanted to see him get his comeuppance. And some of these actors playing like these cowboys did a really good job. And I thought Alex Moeller as well, who was playing like a female cowboy, did a really good job. But I honestly thought as well Kellen Garner really looked the part as this bounty hunter, stroke outlaw sort or cowboy sort of thing. It just came across really, really well, his role. But I thought, to be fair, they all came across really, really well. So this is an entertaining Western, an entertaining low-budget Western, and fans of you out there that still enjoy a good Western, honestly, you could really do far, far worse than checking this one out. It's got some really nice camera work, some really nice direction, some nice cinematography, some good gunplay, some good performances. And even though narratively it's a little bit off and a little bit frustrating, once it all falls into place and makes sense, you kind of get it and you understand everything in the film. So I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed my time with it. It's definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of Westerns. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you like this review. I will be back, of course, with plenty more reviews on the channel very, very soon.